Greetings, brethren. It is I, the Donkey, and welcome back to Donkey vs. Beer, where once again we shall talk about beer. And this series, as you know, is called something. I'm doing this one right after the Bud Light. Still don't really know what this is going to be called. We'll see. You'll know at this point, because this is the second one. I kind of wasn't planning on doing these sorts of things anymore, where I have a bunch of beers in one night. But today was a great day. I feel pretty good today, and so I felt in the mood to make a bunch of these videos because they're just funnier and more entertaining when I'm in a good mood. So I thought I had to at least do a few just to abuse this happy mood I'm in, because I got a haircut, as you can see. Look at that. He did all sorts of things with a line, and it's combed over and it looks pretty good, and it's all short and nice, and the weight loss is going well. There's a very German sort of profile going on, which is good. And then a cute coffee girl at a coffee shop gave me her number, or wrote it on the cup, which was awesome. Great self-esteem boost. What a day. Lovely. So we're gonna have another beer and punish ourselves for having such a good time today by having another one of these disgusting American beers. And now we are going to go with Miller Genuine Draft. So I've had this one before, quite a few times actually, because back in the olden times, when the Americans still kind of had a bunch of bases in Germany, now they don't have that many anymore, but there was one in my town until I think about 2012, and I also grew up with a lot of friends from there, so I have a lot of, or I used to have a lot of American friends, which is also where I have this sort of semi-American accent in my English speaking. And yeah, I don't know, at the time it was kind of just the fashion, I suppose, that a lot of, especially American fast food chains, like KFC and Burger King, the few ones that we actually do have. Not McDonald's, because they were always, I don't know, really boring. But the other ones, they always had an American beer on offer. And it was usually Miller. So I had a few of these at Burger King and at KFC and so on and so forth. But that is also a long time ago. So I have no idea if they maybe changed the recipe at this point. Maybe this is also just really disgusting corn syrup slosh at this point. And yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see and find out, won't we? Let's pour it out. Okay, first observation, this is a lot more foamy than Bud Light was. Bud Light was, well, I'm gonna put it up there. It's in the same playlist, but I'll still do it, because why not? But spoilers, Bud Light is disgusting. So, you know what? This actually kind of smells like beer, so that's a good start. I don't know what's in it. I really hope there's no... Oh, I really hope there's no corn syrup, but... Also, the foam is weird. Very, very large, bubbly. I don't know if you can see that. Very strange foam. But we'll just try it out. You know what? This is actually pretty close to what I remember it being. So it is, of course, a very, very watery beer compared to German beers. But in terms of American sort of standardy beers, I think this is actually not that awful. That being said, there are now quite a lot of other beers in America that are actually decent and good. So that still doesn't make this a decent or good beer. But from the ones that I have tried, which, to be fair, aren't all that many, I have a few more in my cupboard waiting for this series. But the ones that I had beforehand were mostly the regular Bud, the regular Busch, Molson, obviously, and Coors Light. And Coors Light is also pretty awful. But none of them were as awful as Bud Light, I must say. But anyway, out of those, I think Miller is actually the best one. It at least has some of the flavors that I would expect from a beer, from any kind of beer. But specifically, of course, a lager, because I'm pretty sure this is using lager yeast. So I am at least expecting, some hallmark lager flavors. And I'm at least getting some of that. Yeah. So it's a very sort of fresh beer, very sort of summery. Um, there still isn't very much to it, but just flavor wise, it's so much better than Bud Light. And I would put this more on a. I think this is also still better than Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian is just kind of very sweet and not very great. This one doesn't. It's not as bad on the sweetness. It's a bit more sort of going toward tart or acidic, and that while it still isn't packed with flavor, and it's definitely not. There's not a lot of hop flavor going on with this. It does make it feel more like a beer, which from these beers that are all going to be terrible, I know they're all going to be terrible, okay? All these sort of major brand American beers, I know they're all going to suck. But when it comes to really terrible beers like that, I think this is kind of what I would want. So if I was going to a football game or a baseball game, something like that, I don't think I would hate this quite as much. I think I would actually kind of enjoy it because it still gives you what you want in those cases, which is a refreshing drink and alcohol, right? That's what makes sports games fun. Is you sit in the sun and you eat stupid food, and then you refresh yourself with an ice cold beverage, which should really be a beer if you're old enough, and if you're not, then it should be some kind of soda. And, if you are old enough to drink, then yeah, getting a little bit of alcohol at a ball game, that's just part of the thing. It's just part of the fun. And so, I think for those situations, Miller is actually fine. And, yeah. But that's really as far as I would go. I'm not going to get this ever again. I mean, the cans also were quite expensive, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, there's just not much to it. Again, it's okay. It's a really watery beer. It's almost it reminds me a lot actually of Heineken, but with less flavor. And that's not really where you want to be. So yeah, it's still not very good. But I do think this barely skirts the 2 out of 10. I think with a 1.5 out of 10, we'll be okay with that. Um, that's really all I can say about it. um, I do look forward to the other beers that I still have from this series. Because some of them I actually haven't had before. There's a different kind of Miller. There's Pabst Blue Ribbon, which is of course a big meme beer, and I've never had it, so I'm actually really looking forward to that. I know it's going to be terrible, and but I don't know. I'm still looking forward to it. And then a few other ones that I actually hadn't heard of before, like Milwaukee's Best. I've never heard of that beer, but it looks just as generic and big brand terrible as the other ones. So I'm sure it'll also be pretty disgusting. And then a really weird big plastic bottle. Not so sure about that one, but yeah. So there's definitely going to be much more interesting stuff in this series, I'm sure. Again, Miller, it's fine. If I was out somewhere at a, like a really Americanized kind of festival, we used to have those kind of things, and I kind of miss them because if there's one thing I like about the Americans is you guys are really good at putting on a show. It's not as well, at least here. It never felt particularly authentic, but you know, in the way that like a Bavarian festival would be more authentic. But it always feels like there's sort of genuine care behind it, which you know is appropriate to this episode. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I miss, and for those kind of events that used to happen when the Americans were still occupying us. I think this beer would be fantastic. I would actually not be super upset about it. I would be like, oh yeah, oh, this is very American. Oh, okay, very good. Yes, I like the American way. Oh, American dream. So, it's fine. It's bad, but it's fine. 1.5 out of 10. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And do please subscribe to my channel, because I don't know, I like making these videos and I would like to grow the channel so more people can see them, because I still enjoy making the videos even if I'll always have 50 subscribers, which is what I have at this point. I might have more by the time this comes out. Who knows? But I'll still keep making these videos even if nobody else subscribes, because they're just really fun to make. But, you know, growing the channel is always a fun part, and yeah, would be cool. So, if you haven't yet and you enjoy these videos, why not hit that button? Why not? Hey! And other than that, I really hope that you do come back on another day for another beer. Take care, guys. Actually, I'm not going to drink any more of this because it's not